Hey guys, what we got today's video is a old versus new video. Okay, old versus new MotorMouth Mauldulator. Now, John had told me that there's not really no differences between the older one and the newer one. I'll give you a little lowdown. The older one was conventional components on it. It had tube emulation, a mic input, and that's about it. The new one doesn't incorporate the mic input and the tube emulation. That's what he claims is the two differences, and basically everything else is pretty much the same. But the other difference is also between the two is the older one requires three power supplies. You have to have a positive, a negative 15 volt, and you have to have a 24 to 26 volt supply. And that's what you need for the older one. The newer one only requires upwards of about a 30 volt transformer. He's done some designs on the board to where it gets the other two voltages internally. I'm not going to get into too complex stuff on that, on how it's all done. I've already seen the circuit over. I know it's all there, but that's top secret. That's John's technology, and it doesn't need to be released to nobody. Needless to say, this is just a little rundown. This is my old modulator, and I'm going to be putting a new one together for myself, but I've got this one over here that I did for a customer, okay, and that's the newer board. So what this is a comparison test, old versus new, okay. Now, I've been running this one on my base now for about the last week, and I do get a little bit more wattage out of this than I do the older one. John claims that shouldn't be so because they're both the same. The only real difference between the older board, the newer board, and the power supplies is on mine, I'm using a dual Darlington pair, just one unit. And on the new ones, I've incorporated a new circuit, which I've showed in previous videos. I don't have the lid off this one, but I have a new circuit that I'm using that John doesn't, I really haven't explained it to John or anything, but it's a circuit I'm using, which makes it a little bit more robust. One of the big issues I always had with this one is periodically I'd blow out that dual Darlington. I tried a bunch of different Darlingtons trying to stop that from happening. I'm not going to sit here and say it was on me, the way I was doing stuff. A few of them I know for sure were me. Just a weird coincidence. Most of these ones, that when I inject them for this modulator, I put a switch on them so people can still utilize their sideband. And one of the things I noticed with mine is I have to turn it off, okay, before I flip the switch in the sideband. If I do not turn it off, it will blow that transistor. The other times was I probably got it too hot. I don't have it on a very large piece of heat sink. I do have a 3-inch fan on this unit to keep it cool, but it's not on a large heat sink, so that could be the other reason. But let's get on with this test. Now, what we're going to do is I'm going to first key this up, show you reference signals. Then I'm going to show you it at 100% modulation, and then we're going to start turning the asymmetry up, and we're going to see where the watt meter goes. Okay, now what we're using for watt meters today is we will be utilizing my Yaesu meter there, for one, compared to my Bird peak reading digital Dave meter. And then right here, I have just a Bird, it's coaxial dynamic, same as a Bird 43. Now, what we're using over here is we're using a 100 watt slug for RMS, a 500 watt for the PEP mode. Okay, I've also got my other scope behind me hooked in line so it can be referenced to my REA software. So, I'm not really joshing nobody. Now, both these are pretty much on the antenna part. So, I've got my jumper that goes up to my coax, my little simple pickup. And needless to say, I've got to do all this with the 2-pill, basically because the REA software, I don't have it set low enough just to pick up a watt or two. So we are going to utilize my Class B 2-pill down here, which, most of the guys don't know my own stuff, but I've got it filtered with some pass filters in it and stuff like that to keep everything clean and mean over here. Also, it is Class B, but that's mainly due to I like to do some sideband every now and then, so I like to flip it over to sideband. Other than that, let's get on with the show. All right, what I'm going to show you first is the reference. self adjusts. Okay, so there's your 100%, and over there on the scope, there's your 100%. It's reading a tad high right now. I don't know. Every time I get real close to it, it kind of ventures off. I've got something going on. It's reacting with each other, so we just got to bear with what it is. Now, as far as watt wise, I'm doing probably about 8 watts according to the Yaesu meter. That's a 100-watt slug, and that's showing 8 watts. All right, that's with the 2-pill on. Now, what I've got here is a tone test that runs through my mixer off the computer. Okay, there's my mixer. So we've got everything set all ready for you, so let's get on with the show. I'm going to click the tone on. Let me put this over here for a second so I can get my little clamp on. Also, I want to mute my microphone. It is now, yes, it's muted. Now, all right, so what we've got now is about 20 peak watts, and it's not really producing much of a bird, maybe a half of a bird, okay, at that dead key. I'm pretty much dead nuts 100% modulation, at least I had it set before the video, and as you see over there on the oscilloscope, pretty much at 100%. So let me do this real quick. I'm going to dial this back just a hair because we want this test to be even. So yeah, right about there, 100%. We're not clipping nothing, okay? And as you see, the watts are about 20 PEP, RMS. The Yaesu meter, it's actually showing about 40 PEP. So that's bird versus the Yaesu meter. All right, now I'm going to start cranking the asymmetry up, and let's see where we're at. I'd rather watch that. Okay. So what we're going to do is we're going to start off first with about... Now, this is what gets me between my scope and the REA software. The scope over there is showing 200% modulation, okay? Now, the REA is just showing me 132% maybe, okay? Maybe 135, going by the meter at the top. Now I've grown to about 45 on the PEP. My RMS down there showing about 15, and the bird meter showing almost 16, it's 15 and a half. Okay, and as you see, no flat topping, no pinch off, everything's still looking good. Now let's raise this up. See, I'm flat topping there, so for some reason I can't get it but a hair over 200% modulation with the asymmetry control. So I leave it there. That's how I usually run it. Now I could tighten up the negatives a little bit by using the mic gain control, but see, it starts flat topping there too. So I just kind of leave it alone. Now you can always go to the carrier control and tighten it up that way by dropping your carrier, but then you're going to lose power, and that's what happens to me. So with that being said, I'm at 50 peak. We're at about 16 RMS now. 16 RMS. And that's where that's what I get. That's where we're at. So, let's see. That should be everything right there, yeah. But see what the REA, you know, my O-scope's telling me 300%, but the REA's telling me 145. I don't know what's up with that, but I do use this meter a lot to adjust my stuff, and I know where everything needs to be adjusted. The scope is just going off of a simple wire wrapped around the coax for a pickup. So I don't know what the difference is right there, but it is what it is. It's two different meters, but as you see, we're not clipping, we're not any of that. So let me turn the tone off. Give this thing a break for a second. Not even warming up, nothing at all. 2-pills totally cool. No heat coming out the modulator. So, and we're also using just a Cobra 2000 for all the tests. This is what I'm doing for a customer right now. There'll be a video up on that. This is a complete overhaul radio. I just have the speakers to do and the lid to do. Haven't gotten to that yet. But let me go ahead and hook in the other modulator, and then we'll be back. Alright guys, we've got the new one hooked up now, and as you see, the voltage is mainly different on the newer board. And basically what I do is every one of these has been different that I've done. I use the same power supply, but what I do is I go in there and adjust that voltage up to where it gives me a great wave on the scope when I'm setting these things up. And this particular unit set up real great at 29.5. Of course, it shows a 6 there, but on my meter shows 29.5 on my voltmeter. But needless to say, that's where this meter's setting at. And right now I've got everything set up. I've got the dead key set up, and I've got the 100% modulation set up. We're going to start off, and I know said previously I kind of screwed up with what I said when we first were just showing a dead key, and it's called, we'll go over here first, our reference signal. Okay, that's just a reference. I think in the last video I said that that was a 100% modulation. That was my mistake. I didn't mean to say that. It's a reference signal. So let's go here to the watt meter. As you see, it's a little over 8, maybe like 9. For some reason, that's where this one adjusted out at. Let me show you the bird meter. 100 watt slug still, no slug changes. So yeah, it's over 8. I wouldn't consider that 9, but it's about 8.5. So let me give me a second. Let me get my little clamp here set up for my mic. The mic's still muted for right now, and same tone I'm going to generate through it. And I've already got everything, like I said. See, now it's showing a little higher. Over there, it's actually showing 100% modulation, but on the REA. So let's just make this fair and doctor this in at 100. Bam. Okay, 100. So that's where we're at right now. So as you see, there's 100. Still 100 over there on that scope. So it didn't really change much over there, but the REA it did. I just want to keep everything even. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to start cranking up the asymmetry control. And I believe last time that was 130 or something. But right, let's crank it down just a little bit. Okay. And see them positives grow? Now, there's 200% modulation. Everything's still looking great over there. The REA software is showing about 135. And right now I'm not at 300, but there's 50 peak watts. The bird meter or the Yaesu on RMS is showing about maybe 15 or 16. And the 100 watt slug is showing about 18, real close to 18. And let's just double check our PEP function on the Yaesu meter. And that's the difference between that Yaesu meter and a bird peak meter. The bird peak meter showing 50, but the Yaesu meter showing about 95. Okay, so let's move on. I'm going to crank the asymmetry up to about 300% if I can get it without flat topping. And see, this one won't flat top. I mean, that's 300% right there. And as you see, the REA software is telling me it's a little over 150%. Okay. And my RMS is now climbed to about 26. I'm definitely at 100 with the bird PEP. And my bird 100 watt slug is showing me 26 watts. And this is what I'm saying, and I've been trying to tell John this, that the new one gives me more watts. And you know, as you can hear, you can definitely hear the tone going through my test radio. I've got a test radio set up, just 29 that I hi-fi'd, my one of my test radios. And I did do the cap change on receive, and that's all I did because I like to use it to monitor my station. But that's, as you see, that's 300% modulation, man. No clipping, nothing. Now I could get them negatives down a little bit tighter if I wanted to, just by, there we go. And that's beautiful. And as you see, I'm over 300 according to that meter, to the oscilloscope. And then this one over here, I'm almost pushing 160, 155, something, somewhere in there. But now, I'm at 115. I'm at 30 bird. I'm at 28 over here on the bird meter. So, you know, this is just a prime example of what I've been trying to explain to John, that the daggone thing is doing more. Now, I'm going to crank it back because I don't run 300%. I usually run a little over 150. Optimize is great for me because I like to play stuff on my computer. And there you go. And that thing looks beautiful. And at that point, you know, actually that's a little low because I usually get about 55. So there we go. But watch this. You know, this is what's crazy. Whoops, wrong control. It's mic gain, asymmetry. And as you see, look at that meter just grow on PEP. The bird meter's not really, my digital Dave's not showing it, but look at that. That thing's just crazy, man. So, there you go. The whole time we tested on a 1200 tone, and there it is. So, I don't know. I just know I'm seeing a difference with the new one versus the old one. Yes, I do miss the tube emulation a little bit, but I can make that up with my iPad. Everybody knows I use the iPad. I can make up the tube emulation with that and my mixer and leave it at that. Other than that, I mean, all I gotta say is I really do like the new modulator. It definitely works out real good. The music that I like to play every now and then just to play with people seems to be a little clearer sounding with the new modulator versus the other one, even though I set everything up just the way I showed you. You know, 100% modulation is where you initially set this thing, and then you just start adding your asymmetry to it. So, don't know, but that's just a comparison test. Wanted to show everybody. Old MotorMouth Mauldulator going, and let's see if we can't get a, I didn't go back through and adjust it all for my voice, but let's see if we can hear something through the headphones. Yep, I got it out. Let's see if it'll pick it up. 1, 2, oh, let's turn the tone off. 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3. Break, break, break. Audio. Now we'll turn the volume up a little bit over here. And that's my Roger right there. Break, break, break. And that's how the audio sounds over the airwaves. Old stick man getting on down. And there you go. So that's what it sounds like over the air. And that's my comparison test. Just to let you know, old versus new. Old MotorMouth Mauldulator, which mine's probably about 4 years old. Where did I set it? Oh, I set it over here on my other test radio. So, you know, that one's 4 or so years old. And this is brand new. I just put this together last week for a gentleman. And there it is. So, just wanted to show you all what it was doing. In my opinion, this thing's badass. I've done about 4 of them now for customers. And I'm going to be putting mine together next week. This one's actually going with this Cobra 2000 for the guy. And, I don't know. There it is. I'll let you judge it. But I will say this. The new one is pretty badass. I'm getting a little bit more watts out of it, which I'm really happy with that. And keeping my good audio. So, that's all I've ever asked, is I wanted to get some better numbers with my amplifiers. And now I'm doing it. Now my 2-pill actually acts as a 1-pill, which is cool with me. Because I've been running this 4-pill over here with it. So basically I got a 5-pill now with 2 amps, and instead of me having to do some real crazy stuff in here where I was running a 5-pill to get 100 bird, and then I'd use that into, you know, sometimes I'd use it into my Henry, sometimes I'd use it into another 4, really would bother me some, but that's what they wanted you to do, and that's kind of what I did. But there you go. We're getting a little bit more out the new one. I appreciate it. I like it. It's great. It works for me. Hey guys. Old Stickman at the No Name MCB shop. If you want a MotorMouth Mauldulated setup, just give me a shout. I'll help you out, man, no doubt. We'll see ya. Bye, bye, bye. And I sure hope this was informative. If you liked the video, give me a thumbs up, man. We'll see ya. Bye, bye, bye.